Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek and you're watching Gate Gateway for Engineers. So today I am here with the video for solution of test 2, that is strength of material. Okay, so I have selected the question based on the concepts as well as the question which I faced difficulty in solving. So the questions are really good enough, and I request all the viewers to go through the solution, full video solution, as this solution will clear your concepts. So let's start the video. Okay, coming to the first question. See here, the first question was said that throughout the length the Young's modulus varies, and we have to find the normal stress developed in the particular given section. So first question was very much conceptual and easy question, because we know that stress, that is sigma, is independent of E. Why? It's load upon area. Okay, sigma equal to load upon area, and it's independent upon Young's modulus. So directly we have solved that sigma equal to load upon area. Therefore, in any of the section, as area is uniform and load is also constant, so sigma equal to P upon A. So option A is correct. Okay, so easy question. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. See, question number 2. It said that we have to find the maximum tensile stress. So first of all we have to break. See, we have to categorize the two blocks, first block and second block. Okay, so this one is the second block. Yes, so here 50, here also 50, and here also 50, and here 100, and here 100. So for block A, and this one is B, for block A total load acting is 250 kilonewton. Okay, so here 250 kilonewton. Okay, so obviously this will have the maximum tensile stress. So maximum tensile stress sigma is given as P upon A, and here here only the breadth is given, so width we can consider as unity, that is 1. Okay, so area will be 100 into 1, and here P is 250 kilonewton divided by 100 millimeter square. So the answer will come out to be 25. Okay, so maximum will be 25. Again, easy question. Option C is correct. So let's move on to the third question. So it's very conceptual question, third one, and we have to separately find the load acting on each block. Okay, so you can go with left side or right side. Let me go with right side. So first block will be having 50, that is M and N. Okay, so second block will be having here 50 50 50 50. So, and this side we have 200. Okay, so 50 is already there, so another 50 will come here, but total we have to get at 200 there, so we will have to give 150 here. Okay, so 150 here, also 150 here. So on combining you will get this, and here you will give to have 250. So obviously the last block left will be, that scale will have to be 100 and 100. So this, and for each of the block, so for the latest number from right to left, 1 2 and 3. So the first block, the delta L will be, so delta L, just remember the formula, PL upon AE. So A is given out to be 25 millimeter square and E is given 200 gigapascal. So we have to find the total change in length. Okay. So total change in length will be P1 is 50. So delta 1 L1, this is in tension, so it will be plus. Then this is the second one is in compression, so will be minus delta L2, and third one again tension plus delta L3. So you have to calculate delta 1, delta L2, delta L3, and you will get the answer. So delta L1 will be P1, L1, A and E are same, so you will have to calculate. So after calculating, you will get the answer to be minus 10 micrometer. Okay, this is slightly lengthy, but when we know the formula, this formula is very important. So when you know this, you will easily solve. Okay, moving on to the next question. Question number 4, very conceptual question and most important for GATE point of view, because this type of questions are asked in GATE examination from thermal stresses. It said that this bar is heated up, okay, increased by 200 degrees centigrade, and L is 250. So first of all, the deflection for 0.2 mm will be given out, will produce no stress, because when there is a vacant space, so when if it thermally heated, it produces zero stress. Okay, so as it will produce zero stress, so let us find out the total deflection from heating up to 200 degrees centigrade. So we know that delta L will be L alpha delta T. Okay, so we know that there is length, that is 250. We know alpha is given out to be 10 to the power minus 5, and delta T is 200. Okay, on calculating we get as 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 3, that is meter or millimeter, 0.5 millimeter. So up till 0.2 there will be no stresses induced in the bar, but after that a brick is there, this one, and it will resist the elongation, so and a stress will be developed. So the stress for that will be the remaining delta L, that is 0.5 minus 0.2, that is for 0.3. okay, so the stress will be, as we know that E equal to sigma by epsilon, so sigma equal to epsilon into E. So E is given 200 and into epsilon. Okay, so here epsilon is given out to be delta L upon L. So delta L is 0.3 and L is 250. So the sigma will be 0.3 into 200 divided by 250. So on solving, it will come out to be 240 megapascal. So correct option is option B. Okay, so moving on to the next question, question number 5. See, this is very easy question and very conceptual question, because we don't have to even solve it by pen, we can solve it by a theory. See here, as the yielding takes place on applying of the load, and it's after removing the load, it's the strain that is caused is this much, okay, when the load is removed. So it's obvious that when again the load is applied, then it will elongate from this point. So it is asked that what will be the yield value again. Okay, so first it was on 180, but now after the strain is developed, it will be shifted to around 210. Okay, so again when load is applied after the first cycle, then the yielding will be from 210 megapascal. Okay, so option will be B. Option B will be correct. So conceptual question. Next question, question 6. You have to directly apply the formula. It's there nothing much like that. See here, it's given that modulus of rigidity, that is G is given out to be 70, and bulk modulus, that is K, is given out to be 150. So first of all, you have to apply the formula E equal to 9 kg upon 3k plus G. Okay, you have to apply this formula. So after applying this formula, you will get the relation with we will get the E value, and after finding the E value, you apply any of the relation between E equal to 2G into 1 plus mu. On applying that, you will get the value of mu. Okay, so correct option for option 6 is option D, 3 and 4. So easy question. Question number 7 again. Similar question but very important in terms of the definition of mu. Okay, mu is set out to be minus of lateral strain by longitudinal strain. Okay, so here the elongation is given out to be, means longitudinal is given out to be 0.04%, and lateral is given out to be, this is plus and this is minus 0.01%. Okay, so the mu will comes out to be minus of minus, that will be plus 0.01 divided by 0.04, or mu will be 0.25. Okay, 0.25 will be mu. So one option we got, that is option 2, that is mu value is 0.25. So by solving just mu, you can get the correct answer, that is option B will be correct, since 2 option is in none of the correct options. So we have solved it very easily, but the full solution will be we have to find out E. Okay, E will be sigma upon epsilon. So you have to find out that. So first of that we have to find sigma. So to find sigma, we will get upon load upon area. So load upon area will be pi by 4 d square, and load is given 16 kilonewton. And for epsilon will be longitudinal, and it's given to be 0.04% or 0.0004. So on solving out, you will get E equal to 199 gigapascal. Okay, so next question, question number 8. See, it's a easy question because sigma yy is given, sigma xs, again you have to know that formula. We have to find epsilon zz. The epsilon in z direction is given out to be sigma z upon E minus mu times sigma, this is z, this is sigma y upon E minus mu times sigma x upon E. So here sigma y is 50, sigma x is 30, and sigma z is given 0. So it's 0. So epsilon z will be minus of mu into sigma. Mu is 0.3. 0.3 into sigma y, that is 50, divided by 2 into 10 power 11 minus 0.3 into 30 divided by 2 into 10 power 11. So on solving, you will get answer to be option A. Okay, so solve this, you will get as option A. So interesting question, you have to remember that formula. That's very important for GATE examination. So next question, question number 9 for the state of plane stress, so the maximum and minimum principal stress are. It's again you have to find, it's given at sigma, sigma x is 50, sigma y is given out to be minus 10, and tau xy is given out to be 40, and sigma 1 comma 2 is given to be sigma x plus sigma y upon 2 plus minus root under sigma x minus sigma y upon 2 का होल स्क्वायर plus tau xy का स्क्वायर. Okay, so on solving you will get sigma 1 comma 2 is 20 plus minus 50 or 70 comma minus 30, but we don't have to find the negative sign, so the negative side means compression, positive means tension. So irrespective of negative sign, the option D will be correct, that is 70 megapascal and 30 megapascal. Okay, so next question. See, the question, it seems to be much lengthy, but it's very easy. Why? Because only shear force diagram you have to list it with the loading. Okay, so we know that if point load is applied, then it will be line parallel to the axis, and if uniformly distributed load is applied, then it will be a slanting line. Okay, so for the uniformly distributed load throughout, C for option C3, it must be matched with A. Okay, and for the point load here, C option 4, we know that point load is applied here, one parallel line, point load is applied here, another parallel line, so it must be option D, matched with D. A will be matched with 3, D will be matched with 4, and again C2 will be matched with C, and 1 will be matched with B. So the correct option will be option A. So it's easily solved for shear force. Okay, and we know that 1 degree rises as we draw the shear force, then again bending moment. When bending moment is drawn, it will be 1 degree more than the shear force, and when shear force is drawn, it will be 1 degree more than the loading pattern. If loading pattern is linear, shear force will be parabolic, and the bending moment will be third order. Okay. Okay, so next question, question number 11, very good question, again asked in GATE examination. So see here, it's said the vertical deflection of point A. So first of all, the length here is 2L and the load applied is P. So the torque generated will be 2PL, means T here equals to 2PL. Okay, now we know that for that twisting moment T, some theta will be generated in the here, means some theta will be generated here. So the rod attached on that slender bar will go upward, and this side go downward, and this will be theta. So this deflection is asked, so this deflection will be theta into L. Okay, since the theta is small, so deflection will be theta into L. Okay, I will show it more. So this is theta, and this deflection will be theta into L. You got it? This will be theta as twisting moment T is applied. So T equals to 2PL, and we know that theta equals to, as T by J equals to G theta upon L. So T by J equals to G theta upon L, so theta equal to T L upon G J. Okay, this is the important formula you have to remember. Theta equal to TL upon Gj. So T you know 2PL L you know, G will be like that, and J will be, what will be J? So J here will be r to the power 4. Okay, pi by 32, since it is the polar moment of inertia, so it will be pi by 32 d power 4, and the answer will be in r. So on solving you will get that this will be theta, and you have to find the deflection, that is theta into L. So on solving you will get the option as D, 4p L cube upon pi r power 4 into G. Okay, so good question, try to solve it yourself. So next question, question number 12. A propeller shaft P, propeller shaft power is given and RPM is given. So again remember this formula, power equal to 2 pi n T upon 60. Okay, T is the torque, and tau equals to 16 T upon pi d cube for solid shaft, and for hollow shaft tau by capital D by 2 equals to T by, as you know, tau by r equals to T by J. J is the polar moment of inertia, polar moment of area. So tau by r equal to T by J. So tau by r is the outer radius, that is capital D by 2. For this will be for hollow shaft, and this is for solid shaft, is T upon pi by 32 capital D power 4 minus small d power 4. Okay, this is the case. On solving you will get, this will be solved 16 and d will be cut, so d cube and d. On taking d cube common you will get this out to be tau of hollow is given out to be 16 T upon pi d cube into 1 minus small d upon capital D whole power 4. This is for the hollow shaft. Okay, and this is for the solid shaft. So you have to remember this formula. So after solving this you will write capital D by small d as, here it's given that inside diameter 0.6 times the outside diameter. So capital D by small d is given out to be 0.6, and you have to apply whole power 4 and 1 minus that. So on putting the previous form you will get the answer, and the answer will be option B. Okay, so by like this we will solve this question. So next question, question number 13. So 13, I assume this is a bit lengthy question and to be solved in 2 minutes, but I have given here so that to clear your concept, because this question is very good in clearing the concept. Why, I will tell you. See here, first of all the loading pattern is triangular. Okay, so when the loading pattern is triangular we have to give a load which will pass through the C. I am telling you. See, the loading pattern is triangular, so we have to apply a load that will pass to the center of gravity of this loading pattern. Okay, so CG will be acting at L by 3 from this side, and the total weight will be assumed to be acting at this point as point load. Okay, so total load for this triangular will be half into base into height, so WL upon 2. Okay, so total load will be acting as if to be like this, WL upon 2, and the length here will be L by 3, because triangular centroid will be from here L by at a distance of L by 3. So the load here reaction load is R1 and here reaction load is R2. So directly we can say, if this is A and this distance is B, so R1 is given out to be W L by 2 into B by L, okay, and R2 is given out to be W L by 2 into A by L. So this is the formula you have to remember for simply supported beam on point load, okay, for finding the reaction. So here R1 will be, see again I am telling this is a lengthy question, but once you solve this, any type of loading pattern question to find the bending moment or shear force will be easily done, because this clears all the concepts. That's why I gave this question, a lengthy question. I admit this can't be solved in 2 minutes, but still for learning the concepts you have to do. So here R1 will be WL upon 6 and R2 will be WL upon 3. Okay, so R1 and R2 we got. Now bending moment from considering from this side, because here it will be R1 and here will be the for x distance suppose, so here will be the load applied at a distance of x by 3, okay, for this small triangle. So the bending moment will be, or at a distance of x will be WL upon 6 into x minus W x square upon 2L into x by 3. Okay, so considering this triangle, the load will be this one and into x by 3, this is the distance. Okay, so this will be the total bending moment at a distance of x from left side, okay, when seeing from right. So this is the bending moment. Now for maximum bending moment we have to differentiate it. So we will get at WL upon 6 on differentiating with respect to x equals to W x square upon 2L. So here x come out to be L by root 3. Okay, so solving x come out to be L by root 3 and the bending moment maximum at x equal to L by root 3 will be this one, option B, 2WL upon 9 root 3. So again a lengthy question, but when solving this you will clear a lot of concepts. So good question. Next question is question number 14. See, again one new concept is added in this question. We have to find the modulus of toughness, and we know that modulus of toughness is the area under this stress strain curve. Okay, area under this stress strain curve. So the relation is given that sigma minus 1 sigma plus 1 whole square equals to 4 epsilon plus 1. So sigma plus 1 equals to root under 4 epsilon minus plus 1. So sigma equals to root under 4 epsilon plus 1 minus 1. So this is sigma, and we know that modulus of toughness is the area, which will be nothing but integration sigma d epsilon. So convert sigma in terms of epsilon, that will be root 4 epsilon plus 1 minus 1 whole d epsilon. Okay, so by this from 0 to 0.05. Okay, on integrating this, substitute 4 epsilon plus 1 as t and d epsilon equals to dt and change the limit. By doing this, you will get the answer of the integration. Again, a slightly lengthy question to be solved in 2 minutes, but again conceptual question. So a good question. Answer will be 2.422 on solving. Okay. So a good question. Now the last question. Question number 15. It's easy question. Wait. Yeah. The last question. Question number 15. It's easy question. We have to find the ratio of the strain energy. So how to find the ratio of the strain energy? We know the strain energy, it's given out U. Okay, U is given out to be half into load into deflection, that is delta L. Okay, and delta L is given out to be, PL upon AE. So U will be half into P into PL upon AE. So half P square L upon AE. Okay, so this is the strain energy for a bar. So for the first case, it will be U equals to P square L upon 2 AE, and for the second case, see here 2 bars are there. Okay, first one is this bar and second one is this bar, first and second. Okay, so the first one, so area will be pi by 4 d square, and on doing this, if suppose this area is A, so this area will be 4 times A. Okay, so total U2 will be, P will be same, so P square, L is 2L upon 3. Okay, divide by 2 into area will be 4A into A E plus P square, the remaining L will be L by 3, 2AE. Okay, on solving you will get the answer to be option C, that is 2. When you do U1 by U2, you will get the option to be 2. Okay, so good questions. The last question. So by this we end up the solution of the test 2. I hope you like the video. If you like it, give us a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, please subscribe it and press the bell icon so that you will get the notification of the premiered video of the test and different videos I will come up with. So thank you for watching.